When you choose not to react, you're doing something far more powerful than most people realize. In a world where everyone seems addicted to instant responses, quick comebacks, and constant emotional engagement, silence and stillness can feel like the loudest noise in the room. People are not used to it. They expect a spark, a defense, a rise, or even a subtle acknowledgement. So when you give them nothing, they are forced to face themselves, and that can unravel them in ways words never could. At first, you may notice confusion. They lean in, waiting for you to flinch, to sigh, to roll your eyes, to give them even the smallest indicator that you've taken in what they've said or done. But your lack of reaction throws them off balance. Human beings thrive on feedback loops. When they send out energy, whether positive or negative, they expect to receive something back. It confirms that they exist in your emotional world. And when you don't feed that loop, it creates a vacuum. In that vacuum, they begin to spiral because they no longer know how much power they truly hold. This is when some people grow louder. If their first attempt at poking you fails, they intensify it. They exaggerate their emotions, their words, their behavior, anything to provoke a response. They may accuse, blame, joke in poor taste, or push boundaries further than before because they are desperate to stir you. It's like tapping on a glass and hearing no echo. The silence unnerves them. They think, surely, if they push harder, they will eventually get through. But when you remain still, the weight of their actions begins to sit with them instead of with you. They must face the reflection of their own behavior because you've refused to hold up the mirror for them. Others take a different route. Instead of escalating, they retreat into insecurity. They wonder if they even matter to you at all. Your lack of reaction feels like erasure, and in some cases, that can sting more than anger or confrontation. Anger is at least a form of attention. Indifference, on the other hand, is a cold kind of dismissal. It forces them to ask themselves questions they may not want to face. Do you care? Are they insignificant? Have they lost their grip on your emotions? These questions eat away at them in the silence you create. And the truth is, many people fear irrelevance far more than they fear conflict. Over time, patterns start to show. The ones who were used to manipulating your emotions reveal their dependency on your reactions. Without them, their tactics crumble. You see how much their behavior was designed to elicit something from you, whether it was guilt, shame, anger, or validation. Without your side of the dance, they're left stumbling alone on the floor. Some will flail dramatically, hoping you'll come back in to steady them. Others will sulk, trying to bait you with silence of their own. But what you begin to notice is that their behavior is not about you. It never really was. It was always about them, their need to control, their craving for recognition, their fear of being unseen. When you don't react, you break the invisible contract they thought you signed, the unspoken agreement that they would provoke and you would respond. That cycle gave them a sense of power, but your refusal to play exposes that illusion. And it's fascinating to watch the unraveling. Some people, stripped of your emotional energy, will eventually turn inward and reflect. They might realize that their behavior is unhealthy or unsustainable. Your silence creates the space for them to face themselves, maybe for the first time. Others, however, will lash out harder, desperate to regain the control they've lost. Their anger may sharpen, their tone may turn cruel, their actions may become erratic. It is a sign of their desperation, not their strength. And then there are the ones who, after exhausting themselves in the absence of your reactions, eventually fade. They stop trying, not because they've grown, but because they can't get what they want from you anymore. They might withdraw altogether, find another person to provoke, or create distance to nurse their ego. Your silence has denied them the currency they were trading in, and without it, they simply cannot stay. This is why not reacting can be such a powerful form of protection. It doesn't mean you are weak or submissive. In fact, it's often the opposite. To stay calm when someone is begging for chaos is an act of self-control and strength. It shows that you've chosen your peace over their storm. It's not that you didn't notice what they did or that it didn't matter. It's that you decided your energy was too valuable to spend on something that doesn't serve you. And in doing so, you shift the dynamic. They may think they are holding the strings, but in reality, you've cut them quietly, leaving them grasping at air. But let's be honest, it isn't always easy. Not reacting can be one of the hardest things to practice, especially when you feel disrespected, misunderstood, or provoked. Everything in you may want to defend yourself, to prove your point, to fire back with the same energy you were given. It feels like letting it slide means they win. But in truth, when you don't react, you're not letting them win. You're letting yourself win. You're preserving your dignity, your calm, and your sense of self. You're refusing to be dragged into a battle that has no prize worth claiming. And here's what's remarkable. With time, people's true characters are revealed more in your silence than in your reaction. Because reactions can be manipulated. People know how to provoke certain emotions and then twist them to paint you as the unreasonable one. But when you don't give them that material, when you stay centered and composed, they're left exposed. Their behavior stands alone, without your reaction to cover or justify it. In that moment, everyone watching, including themselves, sees the truth. Imagine a situation where someone tries to humiliate you in front of others. They expect you to snap back, to lose your cool, to give them the show they're craving. But you don't. You remain calm, maybe even smile, and let the moment pass. Suddenly, their words hang in the air, naked and awkward. Without your reaction to fuel the fire, the spotlight turns on them, and everyone else begins to question why they even tried. Your silence, your refusal to be baited, has spoken louder than any comeback could.